I'm Carter Babb, he's Wendell Barnhouse, and this is the Big 12 Report.
Back to the end zone, touchdown.
Throw down to second in time.
It's the last two possessions. What a pass. What a pass.
Looks in. Runner comes home. They got her.
Welcome to this week's Big 12 Report presented by Dr. Pepper. We're going to switch things up this week and talk about a little football first. We've got 4 conference games featuring all 6 of the league's ranked teams. Wendell, why don't you give us the lowdown on the games this weekend?
Well, Carter, it's the first Saturday when all the games are conference games. And Oklahoma hasn't won in Lubbock since 2003. And if the Sooners don't end that trend, they're going to be 0-2 in conference play and 2-2 overall. OU has had a week off to fix things after its 24-19 home field loss to Kansas State. Texas Tech leads the nation in total defense and is one of 2 teams that's in the top 10 in both total offense and total defense. Now, number 7, West Virginia visits number 9, Texas for a Saturday primetime blockbuster. The Mountaineers are coming off a 70-63 victory over Baylor that produced headlines and rewrote record books. Senior quarterback Geno Smith is doing his RG3 impression and is the current leader for the Heisman Trophy. Texas, though, could reset a lot of storylines for this season. The Longhorns are coming off an inspiring victory at Oklahoma State, and UT is showing signs of returning to national prominence. Also on the schedule, Kansas visits Kansas State in the Sunflower State Showdown. Now, Kansas State has won the last 3 games in this rivalry, and TCU plays its first Big 12 home game when it hosts Iowa State on Saturday. Now, that game, Carter, is going to match 2 of the top 4 defensive teams in the Big 12.
That's right. Well, all 4 games ought to be a really good contest. Well, as Wendell mentioned, TCU will play their first Big 12 home game on Saturday, and as visiting teams and fans will soon find out, when the Frogs score, they definitely let you hear about it.
That is the TCU Froghorn. Here at Amon Carter Stadium for the last nearly 20 years, that has been the sound that everyone has heard when something good happens for TCU football.
It's very loud, and we have earplugs, but you can still hear it, so it's really tough.
So the horn sounds when the team comes out of the tunnel, both at pregame and at halftime. The horn is also blown every time there's an extra point, a field goal, a safety, and especially when there's a touchdown. If we win the game at the end of the game, the horn sounds after the alma mater and fight song are played by our marching band. The bell sounds every time the horn sounds and also on first downs.
TCU is a new member of the Big 12, and visiting fans like those from Iowa State this Saturday will have to get used to the noise the Froghorn has been making for the last 18 years.
What happened back in 1994, during Pat Sullivan's era, some of the alumni and Pat Sullivan wanted to have something that made noise and brought an impact back into the stadium. So a couple of alumni contacted some other buddies, and from the way I hear it, in 4 hours, this thing was designed and ready to come into production. Burlington Northern Railroad built this for us. It made it to us September 17th of 1994, and ever since has been sounding every time TCU scores. The horn is an actual freight train horn. It runs anywhere from 110 to 120 decibels. The bell is an actual old freight train bell. As you can hear it.
The TCU Rangers are a spirit group for football, and some of its members are assigned to ring the bell and toot the Froghorn during home games.
There's about 28 of us, so usually we'll have 19 on the field because they have to fear the frog, step down on the field, and then we have this, and we raise the field that goes too.
With the redesign of the stadium and the construction, we came up here to this, which has made it a lot more fan-friendly.
They love it, and especially when the little kids go on the field to run, they love taking pictures with us.
Fans can now come up, they can get their pictures made, and hopefully one of these days we'll have some other activities or something up here to excite the fans that much more and give that much more back into the atmosphere.
You know, being a Fort Worth resident and TCU graduate, every time I'm driving around Fort Worth and hear that train horn, I think it's TCU scoring a touchdown.
I don't know what that was. Whatever.
Might have been one right there.
Let's keep going.
All right, Wendell. Well, the world has been waiting. It's time for the infamous weekly shout-outs. What did you find out for us this week?
Okay, well, Carter, last week they were famous, and now they've been downgraded to infamous, apparently, so we'll go ahead and plow on through with this. First shout-out, West Virginia played its first home football game as a member of the Big 12 Conference, and Big 12 Commissioner Bob Bowlesby served as the Grand Marshal for the homecoming parade and also conducted the pregame coin toss. Now, Baylor won the toss and elected to receive. Final score, West Virginia 70, Baylor 63. Now, the Mountaineers' scoreboard explosion was surpassed by their fans' sportsmanship and hospitality toward the visiting Baylor fans, so a big shout-out to West Virginia. Now, the Big 12, which finished ranked number 1 in the final NCAA volleyball RPI last season, has 4 teams in the top 15 in the first NCAA RPI report for this season. Kansas State is number 7, Kansas is number 9, Oklahoma is at 14, and Texas is at 15. Now, KU's number 9 ranking is its highest ever in the RPI. Kansas also broke into the coaches' top 25 at number 24. The Jayhawks are ranked for the first time since September of 2005. And keep an eye on the result of Saturday's Big 12 volleyball match in Manhattan. That will be Texas visiting Kansas State in a battle of ranked teams with perhaps first place on the line in the Big 12. Now, in cross country, 2 student athletes from Kenya who compete for 2 different schools are this week's cross country runners of the week. Texas Tech's Kennedy Kathuka has won 3 consecutive meets and set the course record in all 3. And TCU's Agnes Kimboy finished first and helped her team win the team title in the gold division at the Notre Dame Invitational.
It was a good win. Well, that concludes another exhilarating edition of the Big 12 Report. As always, be sure to visit our website at big12sports.com and follow us on Twitter at Big 12 Conference for just about everything you could ever want to know. We'll see you next week.
All right, come on, let's go.
Big 12 home game this weekend.
All right.
Sorry, this is my first week.
One of 2 teams that is doing his R, and Texas Tech's Agnes Kimboy.
No, stop. It's TCU's Agnes Kimboy. It's tough to please him.
I'm a better actor than he is, okay? I'll do that. I'm the idiot.
I'm by association.
Which means I'm the idiot. Jesse's got a bus to catch, so let's get out of here.